Yes, we did have a member of Congress in this region who looked after everybody, not just the 1%. I am proud to have had Tony Hall as my friend, my congressman, and as a Montgomery County Democrat. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present Tony Hall with our party's Lifetime Achievement Award. Tony?
Thank you, Mark and Carl. Ladies and gentlemen and good friends, it's wonderful to be here. It's great to be with so many friends. And thank you so much for your support over the years. It's been my great pleasure to be the congressman from this district for 24 years. What a great honor. I remember my first campaign. It was a tough campaign. I think we had something like 26 debates, and it looked like I was going to win, and I did win. And what was interesting about it is the night before we were going to leave for Washington, D.C., my wife and I, we had my daughter, who was 3 years old at the time. Her name was Jill. I guess she overheard my wife and I talking about us moving to Washington, D.C. This is 1978, 1979. That was the time frame. And she must have heard my wife and I talking about Washington, how rough it was, how partisan it was. They always said, if you wanted a friend in Washington, D.C., get a dog. They also said, you know, at one time it was the #1 crime city in the USA. And so my daughter was really worried, and she was 3 years old. And that night before we were to move to Washington, D.C., as I was walking by her room, this is what she was praying. She was saying, well, God, I guess it's time to say goodbye. For tomorrow we're moving to Washington, D.C. Well, 33, 34 years later, she's still praying for Washington, D.C. I've had a great experience of living in Washington, D.C. and representing this district and meeting some amazing people. One of the most amazing people I've ever met was Mother Teresa. Maybe some of you have heard me tell some of the stories about her, but I met her 7 or 8 times. And the first time I met her was in Calcutta, and I was traveling, and when I met her, she came up to me and she grabbed my hand. And the first thing she said to me, she said, I never want you to forget this. And she grabbed each finger of my hand and she said, never forget this. And she said, always remember, for the least of these. And I thought that was a wonderful saying. And then later on in the day, she took me downtown to a very squalid, very overpopulated area of Calcutta, and at the time I was the chairman of the Select Committee on Hunger, and I must have said something stupid like, look at the masses of humanity here. I said, I'm supposed to know something about hunger, but I'm not even sure I can handle this block of people. I mean, where are you supposed to start? And she said to me, well, she actually at that time didn't say a thing, because there was a man lying in the street. She got some friends, some men, to go pick this man up. He was practically dead. She took this man back to her hospice, and as she always did, she began to love him and wash him off, take care of him, say good things to him. And she came back to me later that afternoon and she said, "Not everybody can come to Calcutta like you." She said, "But you should always go back and tell your people, and you should always remember this, do the thing that's in front of you." And I thought it was a very good lesson to me that we should always do the thing that's in front of me. I think what she was saying was, if everybody did the thing that's in front of them, what's going on here in Montgomery County, what's going on here in Dayton, Ohio, some things that Dayton, Ohio has done well, some things that the Democratic Party has done well. As I look around Dayton, Ohio, I see a baseball stadium. You know, I know Tony Capizzi had a lot to do with that, but my office had a heck of a lot to do with that too. And you know what? That was an earmark. I like earmarks. And that River Corridor project,